Hello, I'm Callum Dilietto, and this is season 3 of the Flock Together podcast in partnership with Visit Norway. And we're here today at the Shangri-La at the Shard in London, and I'm joined by Becky.
Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
This is a good morning.
What a lovely place to meet. Lucky us.
We are very fortunate.
And your hair is as high as the Shard, so perfect.
I will take that. That is a compliment and not an insult,
compliment,
even though
compliment.
coming from you, it can sometimes be a double-edged sword.
True.
You have gone through a very new transformation in that you're owning your own company now. You're running your own venue finding business.
Yeah, so I was with an agency for 15 years and decided after having 2 babies to do my own thing. So I recently launched Truffl, which is my own venue finding agency. And yeah, I've been going since October and it's amazing. It's great just to have that flexibility and I guess still really enjoy networking and being a part of this community. So far the response has been amazing.
You, in my opinion, you've always been so synonymous with your previous company. You've always had your own personal brand. I think everyone in the industry has known you for you as well. And that has really helped. Yeah, the good and the bad. Yeah. No. I think you've had such a good positive reputation in the industry that when you said you were starting your own business, I thought that makes perfect sense to me because everyone loves you.
Wow, that's a big statement. But yeah, I knew that I wanted to be a part of this industry still, and I wanted to have a bit more flexibility in what I could do with having a young family. So this way it meant I can still have that relationship with my old agency, work with different agencies, and again, build that brand I've got myself and just keep visiting all these amazing hotels and venues around the world that I love so much. So win-win, really. Talking
of which, do you remember your first ever work trip?
Now, this is actually quite tricky because my brain is now a sieve. But I remember my first, I wouldn't say I remember my very first event or trip because it probably would have been somewhere in the UK, kind of quite not that memorable, but my first overseas trip, I remember going to Mauritius with the lovely Rakesh.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Great first
Setting
trip.
a high bar straight away. And I remember how incredibly amazing that opportunity was and felt in awe straight away to be amongst a group of people who were having to share that experience with me and to experience that gorgeous, the hotels we saw, to do all the activities we did and just be in such a beautiful setting. So that memory will always last with me. And also, I guess, when it's your early events and your early trips, you really do have that feeling which you know your clients are going to experience, that kind of first of like, oh my goodness, I'm here, I can't believe I get to experience this. And the more and more you travel throughout your career, obviously you have that, you never take it for granted, but there's nothing quite like those firsts where you truly feel how unique and incredible these destinations are.
It makes me laugh because, you know, the whole industry is designed to create these once-in-a-lifetime experiences, and yet we experience them multiple times in our lifetime. So you're right, being able to experience it as though it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience because it's your first time versus, you know, having that luxury of time and time again. I think, there is that freshness, the shine is still
exactly
there.
The shine's still there. I mean, it doesn't go away, but there's nothing like the firsts, I'd say.
And what was your most recent work trip?
So my most recent trip was to Morocco, to the High Atlas Mountains, when I was 7 months pregnant. So we took a group there and we stayed at the amazing Casbah Tamadot Hotel and the Habitas Agafe Hotel, which was incredible in itself. And it was a really poignant trip because we travelled in June and the earthquake happened in September. So obviously we had that amazing interaction with the local people and got to experience the activities, and then that devastating earthquake happened. So it just reaffirmed how amazing that place is and the people there. So we felt really connected to them. And staying at the Casbah, 100% of their employees are Moroccan, and most of them are probably from the local communities, the local Berber villages. So getting to know those people as individuals and the amazing service that they offer and the activities that they do there, and also just the commitment they have to the local community, just made that trip really, really shine.
And you did that 7 months pregnant?
Yeah. I mean, there's some activities obviously I didn't do because we would have had the baby in Morocco. But yeah, it's just a great place. And obviously I think a lot of people just think of Marrakesh, or they think, they don't necessarily think about going out to the mountains or different areas of Morocco. So it was an incredible trip. And especially I guess that hotel in particular always stands out to me because it's on a different level. Like, they really think about how to personalise the experience for you. And they have like the Eve Branson Foundation, so they have on-site projects that you can get involved with, actually supporting the local community rather than kind of shoehorning a CSR activity into an itinerary or not really feeling that authentic, whereas everything there feels really authentic and lovely. So yeah, that was my last trip, and it was really poignant because of obviously what happened, but can't wait to get back there.
Yeah, and authenticity around CSR, it really makes a difference,
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
rather than just, oh, we're doing...
Ticking a box.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it can be felt. The next part of the podcast is about kind of revisiting. If you could transport yourself back in time and relive a destination experience, what would it be?
Wow. I thought a lot about this because there's so many amazing places that we've all been, but actually I would go to where we went together, which was Banff in Canada. Maybe not with you, no offence.
Oh.
But I would love to go back there because that trip, again, we travelled in January 2020, didn't we? Right before lockdown. So that trip stood out even more because we went to this incredible place and then everything changed. So for me, the team we went with, the group we had with Nicola from Travel Alberta at the time and Cantrav, they really made that really special. And it was just so stunning, wasn't it? And such a beautiful location with amazing activities. And yeah, I would go back to Canada.
It was really weird, wasn't it? Because I remember, so that was, January 2020, and then 2-3 months later, we were in lockdown. And
Yeah.
I was going through our videos when we were dog sledding together. We were on the same sled.
Yeah.
And I remember like posting a few TikToks because I was like, I'm not traveling anymore, so I have to go back into my archive and see what I had. And that was the most recent trip. And I remember just looking at it, and there was a point where we turned a corner. We were like going through forest, and we turned a corner and then came out onto a frozen lake, and we were surrounded by these panoramic scenes of the mountains. And I was like, wow. And to go from that to being stuck in my one-bedroom flat, it
Exactly.
was surreal.
It made you appreciate it even more, didn't it?
So much
And
so.
because the location was so stunning, every activity you did was just about showing it off. There was nothing, they weren't trying to create activities for the sake of it. Everything was just about showcasing the location. So yeah, I would go back there. We had a lovely time.
Would you go back, because what I find interesting about Lake Louise particularly is everyone usually goes there in the summer because they want to see the emerald waters. But we went in the winter, and what I loved is that I got to ice skate on Lake Louise.
Exactly.
So would you go back in the winter?
I would go back in winter, I think. I'd love to see it in the summer because it's an all-round destination, isn't it? But I think it was very special, like you said. We could step out of our hotel and we could ice skate on the lake, and they were having there was like an ice sculpture competition happening, wasn't there? Like a global competition, and you could like do like snowshoeing from there and a cowboy experience. So I think I'd go back in winter just because for me, I'm always more drawn, I guess, to hot destinations, but that to me was such a wow experience. I'd go back in winter.
And if you could make any hotel a home, what would it be?
I thought about this a lot because, again, so many amazing places. My first thought was the Four Seasons in Taormina in Sicily, the hotel that they used in White Lotus.
I was going to say, is that the White Lotus Hotel?
Yeah, because that is the location with Etna right there, and just that is absolutely mind-blowing. Again, absolutely incredible. But the hotel I've chosen is actually a UK hotel, and that's the Newt in Somerset.
Okay.
Which is, it's this gorgeous, huge estate with a big Georgian hotel on it. They also have a separate like farmyard rooms that you can stay in, and it's just completely understated luxury. They've got a cider press on site. They make their own cider, and they have like sparkling cider to rival like English sparkling wine. It's just absolutely beautiful, and it feels like a home. It feels like a quintessential English home, but with like amazing luxury service. And so
I could see you living in that, to be fair. Yeah, you do.
With my
suit
slippers
that.
on, with the fire on.
Your hunter wellies.
In my estate. Yep, strolling around my garden. So yeah, I think that would be, I would say that's my favourite hotel in the world. So I'd make that my home.
Now, you've been probably more focused on incentives in your career
Yeah.
than most people that I know. So if you were to reimagine that role and create an incentive for yourself, where would you go? What would you do? And which celebrity would you take with you?
Again, I think this changes on how I feel each day. Like if I'm having a bougie day, I was thinking the Orient Express doing the Paris to Portofino, because I think that would be so glamorous and amazing. But then I know that I love beaches, so then I thought maybe like a private island, like Necker Island, or like Brando Island outside of Tahiti. That would be amazing. But for me, I think I would have a toss-up of safari and beach. So I think my dream incentive would be something like game drive in a luxury hotel in like Serengeti, and then fly over to like Seychelles for a beach holiday. Something like that would be my dream, a bit of both. Like a really authentic, like emotional game drive experience, and then just chill on the beach. That would be my dream, I think.
Yeah, because I think the being on safari is probably the best memory I've ever had.
It's just so emotional, isn't it? Like,
It
gets
is.
you in the feels straight away. It's just, wow, yeah.
Gets
it's
you
amazing.
right there
yeah.
in the field. But it is a bit tiring, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
and you're
Early starts,
bouncing
it's-
around in a Jeep, and it's not the most like
No.
comfortable, and at the end of the day it feels quite exhausting. So to end and then go to the Seychelles and just relax
and
in
then just
paradise.
relax, yeah. That would be my dream.
I like
Best
that.
of both.
And which celebrity would you take?
I would take Amy Winehouse. I'd bring her back, and I would love to go with Amy Winehouse, because randomly she's popped up a few times in my career over the last 15 years. And so I'd love to kind of share an incentive or have a little trip with her. So I randomly met her at the Langham, when she was staying at the Langham. And I also met her at the airport on the way to another incentive. So I feel like in my work career as a celebrity, she's popped up a few times. So I'd love to go with her. I think it should be fun.
Yeah, I think I can
Imagine
see.
a few drinks with her on the beach in Seychelles.
This is
Few
what I'm
songs.
seeing. I'm
Yeah.
seeing you and Amy
Yeah.
in the Seychelles, and I can.
Singing at midnight, waking up a few people, having a few drinks. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that'd be good fun.
Are you a good singer?
Of course.
Really?
No.
Because I'm hearing.
I think I am.
Valerie! And I'm like, oh.
Essex accent really comes out strong, so it's perfect.
And the final part of the podcast is reform. It's your letter to the industry.
Yes.
So this is your moment. This is your pedestal to kind of say what you would like to say to the wider industry.
Well, this is quite a timely question, I guess, for me, because I've had 2 babies in 2 years. So I've been able to step back and reflect on 15 plus years in the industry, which you don't really get time to do you? We're also working at fast pace, and it's also hectic for us. You often don't get time to kind of smell the roses, step back, really live in that moment of a success, but also kind of reflect on what you could do better yourself, or how you think the industry could change and evolve a lot more. So it's actually been a really good time for me to kind of reflect on that. And what that time out for me did was just reaffirm how incredible our community is and what a unique network it is. Like, how many industries do you know where you travel the world with competitors, with strangers, with colleagues, with clients, and you have these like bucket list memorable moments, and you just have this wealth of knowledge between you all, and you get to know each other on such a personal level that your network is vast. And I often think that we underutilise our community to just help each other grow, really. So I guess my letter to the industry would be to utilise that community and kind of work smarter. Don't work your teams harder. Utilise what you've already got. I think sometimes we gatekeep projects or opportunities, but actually if you look to the influences we've got all around us, our network, and invite that inspiration, then actually all it's going to do is help spark creativity in your own teams and just bring fresh ideas the whole time. So if you've met an amazing tour guide on a game drive, invite him to join the pitch you're doing on Teams, get him to speak, because no one's going to storytell like he does. Or if you met some really creative, forward-thinking girl at an awards dinner, call her, ask her opinion on a brief. How would she approach it? I just think we are so stuck doing the do sometimes. We don't always look at how we could benefit from the network we have.
Well, that was really kind of my thinking around the whole Flock Together community, was that I'd had all these. I mean, we were on a dog sled in Lake, like in Banff and Lake Louise, and you know the relationships and friendships that are formed in this industry because of that. You know, I wanted to try and create a community where people tap into each other and connect more often, because I think what often happens is you go on a fam trip, you have these once-in-a-lifetime experiences, you create these fantastic bonds, and then you don't see each other for years sometimes.
Exactly.
You know, you might keep in touch, like, you know, from a distance, but, you know, the whole idea for me is to keep coming back together and keep
definitely
flocking together.
Yeah,
you know?
definitely.
So,
And I think especially now I'm do my own thing, I kind of see the benefit that often goes to waste in the form of freelancers and these amazing contacts that you have that you might definitely underutilise. So yeah, for me it's all about bringing the community together to support each other.
the final section is just a quick fire round.
Okay.
So, A or B answers.
Right.
Packing, last minute or week before?
Last minute.
Carry on or check in?
Carry on.
Oh,
Check in.
you just changed your answer.
Can I do that?
Why?
Check in. Because I'm so last minute I need to take everything. So I don't know why I'm thinking that's possible with a carry on.
Fair. Airport lounge or shopping?
Airport lounge. A few drinks. Lovely.
You give lounge vibes.
Do I?
Aisle or window?
Window. I mean, okay.
You say it so matter-of-factly, but there is actually 50% of the people I ask are the same attitude with aisle.
Really?
Yeah. They're like, aisle, obviously.
No.
Because you want to sleep.
Yeah, I want to sleep and look out the window.
City or nature?
Nature.
Lay-in or early start?
I would used to say lay in, now I'd say early start.
Kids have changed
Kids
you.
have ruined everything, yeah.
Poolside or seaside?
Poolside. Poolside.
Sure.
Sand. I love it, but I hate it.
Planned or spontaneous?
Spontaneous.
Breakfast, hot or cold?
Hot.
And hotel, room service or restaurant?
Restaurant.
Well, there we go. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. That's brilliant.
I'm glad to have you as part of the community, and
Thank you for
it's
having
been
me.
fantastic to
And
have
thank
you.
you to Shangri-La. It's been amazing, absolutely amazing. So thank you.